Anyone got a nugget? Say nugget! Heck yeah. That is the lifeblood of your business. Now you know how to get 5, 10, 15 referrals. God, that peeler program, gold. Go. You'll be surprised. I had a customer told me she didn't know anyone. I was like, well, if you give me 15, I'll leave you with my peeler. And she went from not knowing anyone to like furiously writing people down. So that's going to be awesome. But next, I'd like to bring up, now teach you what to do with all those leads that you get. So Garrett's going to be going over some phone skills. Garrett Shryock, is the Boulder District Manager. Started off in June of 2015. He's now at $140,000 in personal sales. He's been a branch manager, been to Cabo twice, Olean twice, DC, Arizona, DC. That trip was a blast. We just did bike tours around Washington. Oh my God, it was incredible. But in his free time, Garrett might dabble with the clarinet a little bit, do some Frank Sinatra in his free time, and he's going to be giving you the goods on phoning skills. So if we give a huge round of applause, Garrett Shryock, District Manager.
How we doing?
Good.
Oh, that was weak. All right, I know it's the last talk of the day. Let's get some energy though. Let's get some good stuff out of this, and then let's have a really strong wrap up. So, today we're talking about the phones. The one thing everybody hates. So, phoning is not something that's naturally within our comfort level, right? The reason why is that we're so worried about what's happening on the other end of the phone call. We're so focused on that instead of what we're doing. You know, we're like, are they gonna like me? Are they gonna set up an appointment with me? You're like so focused on that. But here's the thing, jot this down. Phoning equals money. Phoning equals money. Because if you don't make calls, you don't set up what? Demos, right? And if you don't set up demos, you don't make sales, which means you don't make money. So, phoning equals money. So every time you see your cell phone, you just need to think money, right? Just think of it like an ATM. How much money is it going to give me today? It's a great way to think about it. So I've got 5 keys for phoning today. The first one is being personable. So personable. You have to have a personality on the phone, right? You can't sound like a robot on the phone, because then what happens? Click. Right? They immediately hang up on you. So you can't sound like that. You got to have a personality, because we need our customers to be excited to talk to us on the phone. Right? We want them to be like, oh wow, who is this? Right? There's a big difference between, hey Jill, and hi Jill.
This is Garrett from Cacao. I'm calling because
click. Right? I have so many reps that sometimes sound like that, and they wonder why people don't want to talk to them. Obviously, we don't want that, so be excited to talk to your customers. So here's how to sound more personable. Super simple. Smile while you're on the phone, right? Smile while you dial. You guys heard that from your managers before? Maybe, no, hopefully. Well, if you haven't, now you have. Smile while you dial. We used to use this a ton, especially whenever I was back in like the Fort Collins office, whenever we had receptionists who literally had mirrors on their desk so they could watch themselves while they were on the phone, so that they could watch themselves smile while they were on the phone. So sometime I highly recommend actually doing some phoning in front of a mirror so you can see what your body language looks like, right? Remember how Mike Lanzetta was talking about body language and your state? Well, just think about how you sound if you're all slumped over and you're making calls, or you're like laying on your bed, like staring at the ceiling. Like, you're probably not going to sound very good. So really just think about what are you doing with your body language. The next key is hone, H-O-N-E. You got to hone your skill, right? You got to master your craft. I don't care what phone approach you use. I really don't. But whatever you pick, know it. Know your phone approach. You know, don't be reading through it for the first time while you're on the phone with somebody. So practice it, role play it, work on it, you know, refine it. And the other key is, within that, is find out what you're doing wrong and make it better. Right? I know that seems obvious, but this is so important. If you aren't getting good results on the phone, or you're getting like the same objections over and over and over again, like people keep telling you like one thing, this anyone ever had weeks where it just seems like your customers, it's like they all got together and they're like, okay, we're all gonna tell Garrett like the same thing, we're too busy or whatever. You're probably doing something wrong. It's your fault. So figure out what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're projecting yourself so that you can correct that. Don't just take the results, like figure out what you can do to get better. So go through your approach with your manager and find out what you're doing wrong, because if you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, I mean, that's the literal definition of insanity, right? To do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. So work on improving. Next key is outstanding. Be outstanding. So once you learn what your personality is and you hone your skill, you'll be outstanding. So be outstanding in everything that you do. Like even whenever you answer your phone, like some of you guys are like, hello, who is this? You can't be like that anymore, right? You own a business. You're a business owner. Your phone is now a business phone, so you need to answer it as if it's a customer calling. Now, if you know it's like your friend or whatever, obviously, you know, you're gonna be like, hey man, what's up? But if you see a number you don't know, that usually means it's a customer calling. So to be outstanding on the phone is to know how to properly answer the phone, right? Hello, this is Garrett with Cutco. How can I help you? There's a big difference between like, who is this? Right? So it's really important. Next key is to be natural. Natural. So once you have a personality, you hone your craft, and you become outstanding on the phone, then it just becomes natural. You're so good now that your script sounds like your own words. Right? That's how good you want to get with your script, so that it doesn't sound like you're reading off of a script. Like even as managers, we read off of scripts like all the time. Right? So own what you're saying. And then the last key is excitement. Excitement. So when your manager is like, hey, let's hop on the phones. What are you like right now? Oh, crap. I don't want to do that. Right? Like how many of you guys have just been like that to your manager before? Oh, I forgot my leads at home. What? Come on. That's the laziest excuse ever. If you're going to lie to me, at least my better. I made calls earlier. That's my favorite one. I made calls earlier. My phone is dead. You're avoiding it because you aren't excited about it, right? If you were excited about making phone calls, you wouldn't be making these excuses, right? So like after I learned this, we'd be like in a team meeting, and my manager Will would be like, all right, like time for a phone jam. I'd be like, yes, right? And it was so weird, but the rest of the team was wondering why I was out selling them each and every week. It was because I was excited to be on the phone. I couldn't wait to get on the phone, so you gotta be excited to get on the phone. So I'm gonna challenge you guys. The next time someone was like, hey, like we gotta hop on the phone, I just want you to shout, yes! And just be like ridiculously, I know it feels weird, but just do it and train yourself to get into that state of mind. And like everyone else will be like, are you okay? But I guarantee if you do that, it'll be the best phone time you've ever had. I guarantee it. If you continue to do that, you'll just get better and better and better. Did anyone notice what those 5 keys spell? P-H-O-N-E, phone. I know, so fun. These are so easy to do, guys. These are so easy to do. But the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. So don't fall into that trap. I'm telling you guys that if you choose to incorporate these keys in your phone time today, it's going to change immediately. It's huge. So some final, just kind of general tips about some things. First off, I wouldn't be a vector manager if I didn't say this. Follow your script. Follow your script. Don't like be making phone calls without having your manual in front of you. Just like making stuff up on the fly. Most of you guys have been working here for what, like a couple of weeks, like maybe a couple of months tops. Like you're not pros yet. Like not following the script right now, that'd be like if you got hired at McDonald's and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna make the fries different, they're way better this way. Like, no bro, you're fired. Like they just get rid of you right away. Like there's a system and that's what you do because it works really well. Like we sold $263 million worth of knives last year with like 18-year-olds reading off of a piece of paper. It works great. So you don't have to change that system, so just follow the approach. You know, if you don't follow the script, you're gonna find yourself like saying like really stupid stuff. I had this rep last year that was just like making stuff up on the fly, and he ended up telling his customers that he was just gonna like come over, show them like a few magic tricks really quick, and then like bounce out. What? I'm dead serious. So follow the approach. Next thing, offer a choice of 2 times, which honestly falls under, following the script, but here's why this is very important. Like, you're the professional, you're the business owner, right? So if you call Mrs. Jones and you're like, so, like, when could I come over this week? Oh, we're busy. Like, right? Or they give you the, like, I'm too busy this week. How's your December look? Has anyone gotten that before? You just get put off, like, months and months. I got that all the time whenever I was a new rep because I was just so bad about that. So, offer a choice of 2 times. Otherwise, it just stresses them out and they won't schedule with you. Because you have to realize, like, as adults, like, they have so much going on in their lives. So if you're just like, when can I come over? That's the scariest thing that you could have just done to them. They just imagined everything that they have going on for the next week. And it stresses them out so much that they just shut down and then they're done. But if you're like, hey, is 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock better? That's a very, like, defined thing. It doesn't freak people out. So that's why that's important. It's not just like some dumb thing that we do. There's a reason for that. So the next one is to make calls at the office. Whose manager, like, tells you to do that, like, all the time? Hopefully, like, all you guys. Right? Here's why, though. It's not just because we want to, like, make you come to the office again. It's this idea of tricking yourself into being successful. Tricking yourself into being successful. Whenever I made calls at home as a rep, I was so unproductive. Like, so unproductive. I never got anything done. I'd make, like, 3 calls and then take, like, a half hour to make those 3 calls because you gotta, like, work yourself up to it, and then it's a whole thing. And then I'd be like, oh, Netflix. Right? Like, time to watch, like, another episode of something about, like, Scientology. Like, you just get, like, sucked into stuff, right? So making calls at home is really hard. It's really hard. There's no one to hold you accountable. But when you're at the office, there's nothing to distract yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else to do there. So it's really important to do that. Can I let you guys in on a secret?
Yeah.
Can
Give
I?
us
Okay. Can I give you the
Yeah,
goods?
give us
Pro
the
tip?
gold here.
Derek likes to say that. A nugget. As managers, do you guys think we pick favorites?
No.
Well, I mean, yes.
Yes, we do.
Don't even
Wow.
change
We absolutely do. But here's the cool thing. Here's the cool thing. Anyone can be on that list. Anyone can be on that list. One of the best ways to get on that list is to make calls at the office and be around your manager, because then we can help you guys. And it shows that you're putting in some effort. You know, like, I love when my reps make calls at the office because I know they're working. Perception is reality. So if I just, like, don't see my reps or, like, I don't really hear from them, I just assume they're not working. And that's what your managers think too. So the more that you're around them, the better they're gonna feel about you. And lastly, the big one, no-shows. Who's ever had a demo where the customer forgot about the demo? Like, you drove all the way there, and they just weren't there. Doesn't that suck? Isn't that just, like, the most frustrating thing ever? It's such a waste of time, right? So, I just like to call things as they are. If you've had, like, a ton of no-shows, it's your fault. It's entirely 100% your fault. You're telling me that you had such a boring phone call with your customer that they literally forgot the one purpose of that call? For real. So we're gonna fix that today with this really simple phrase. So just jot this down. I can read through this a couple of times or whatever, but it's this simple. Just add this in your phone script. This appointment is really important to me, and I'm counting on it to keep my schedule booked. Mrs. Jones, I know you would never do this, but one time I drove all the way to an appointment and they weren't at their house. So are you sure this time definitely works? No one will, like, ever forget or, like, cancel on you. No one with a heart, right? That's the easiest way to do it. So, Mrs. Jones, this appointment is really important to me and I'm counting on it to keep my schedule booked. Mrs. Jones, I know you would never do this, but one time I drove all the way to an appointment and they weren't at their house. So you're sure this time definitely works? Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to our demo. And just being, like, genuinely excited and genuinely thank them for taking the time to schedule the appointment with you. And then there's no way they're gonna forget, right? Because they're having a good time with you on the phone. So, thank you guys very much. Super excited to wrap up today, and can't wait to see where you guys all end up for the summer. Let's have an awesome one. Thanks.
Awesome. So we have, I know there's a lot